Green Party moron presidential nominee Jill Stein said early Sunday she would escalate her statewide recount efforts in Pennsylvania through a federal lawsuit after announcing that she would drop it. Stein on Saturday cited a major cost placed on voters due to a state court ruling that says the voters requesting the recount must pay $1 million bond. But shortly after midnight, Sunday, Stein tweeted about plans to continue on the recount bid. She said, on Monday, I will escalate recount 2016 in PA and file to demand a statewide recount on constitutional ground. These people deserve answers, she wrote. The answers to what? We all voted, Stein. The election's over. It happened a while ago. This is just hilarious. I thought this painting that I found on the internet was also hilarious in kind of a reverse way of what she's trying to have it mean, right? Like, don't vote for the lesser of two evils, vote for Jill Stein. The painting says the lesser evil pays the way to the greater evil. It's not in opposition to it. It makes way for it. And I thought that was ironic, seeing as how she's trying to pave the way for Hillary Clinton to be the president. Frankenstein goes on to say, over the past couple days, it's become clear that the barriers to verifying the vote in Pennsylvania are so persuasive and the court system so ill-equipped to address this problem that we must seek federal court intervention. So basically what they're going to do is they're going to file a court case in federal court and try to force him to recount by hand because they're not doing it exactly the way the crybabies want. And they get to save their $1 million for smoking weed or whatever they're going to do, drink some 40s. I don't know what Green Party does. Frankenstein later said the judge's outrageous demand that voters pay such an exorbitant figure is shameful, unacceptable barrier to the democratic participation. You know, I bet this is like standard practice. Okay, you got to pay $1 million to get the recount started, right? I mean, you can't just say, yeah, we'll pay you, just start the process, we'll pay. I mean, I'm pretty sure that's what's going on here. The judge is like, hey, put up $1 million, we'll start the recount. And they're like, can we pay you later? Stein campaign spokeswoman Jordan Bruckner later clarified Sunday that while petitioners withdrew their case for a statewide recount, recounts in hundreds of precincts in some Pennsylvania counties, including Philadelphia, Allegheny, Lay, will continue. The campaign is also still pushing for forensic audits of voting machines software in the state. Frankenstein also went on to say, oh, I'm sorry, that makes me laugh. Frankenstein, they went on to say about responding to the American voters who are standing up and saying, we deserve an election system that we can trust and that is accurate, that is secure against hacking, against human error, against machine error, in which the votes are being counted. What the hell is she talking about? You want 100% foolproof, could never ever fail in the world system? Good luck building that. Yeah, it's never existed. It never will exist. This is just the way they're trying to obfuscate their true intentions is the best part. She says right now it's not clear that the votes are being counted, and she denied that the more than 6.5 million she raised for the recount, far more than the nearly 900,000 she collected for her entire campaign, in 2012, and the 2.5 million she raised in 2016, is a list-building fundraising scheme. Yeah, right, Donald Trump was right again. This money's going strictly into a segregated account, she said, which can only be spent on the recount. So this money is entirely and will be completely used for the recount, and if we're lucky, we'll be able to cover our costs. Trump laughed at them and disagreed, tweeting Sunday again that, it's just a scam. Stein has spearheaded a recount effort in Michigan, Pennsylvania, and Wisconsin, two of which have failed. Wisconsin is recounting for no reason. Frankenstein raised nearly $7 million to fund the recount efforts following news that security experts alerted Clinton's campaign to the possibility of hacks in counties in those states. So they are saying now it's going back to the Clinton campaign. So the Clinton campaign lawyers and the Clinton campaign goons and dogs found maybe some evidence of some hacking, and then they went to Stein, and then Stein was like, oh, we need a recount? But, I mean, remember, supposedly it was Stein that wanted the recount because somebody came to them, and Hillary Clinton was jumping in on the back end, and the Clintons knew nothing about it. I mean, they has CNN just played their hand right here? I think they have. I think they actually just admitted in this article right here that I will link to in the description that the Clinton campaign actually was the one that instigated this recount attempt. I mean, it seems pretty obvious right here, unless CNN just got their fact wrong, it's CNN. I mean, despite the fact that there's been no credible evidence so far of election tampering, Stein has maintained in recent interviews, including with CNN, that you cannot tell unless you're actually counting the paper votes. Clinton's campaign has sent its lawyers to participate in the recount process to ensure that it is fair to all sides. Again, it's just hilarious that none of these recounts are happening in any of the states that Hillary Clinton won by close margins, like Pennsylvania, or not Pennsylvania. What was that state? Maybe you guys can remind me in the comments. Virginia, I think, right? They legalized the rights of 60,000 felons by electronic pen signature to give these guys back the right to vote. Because if you remember, the governor, I think it was the governor, he couldn't just do a blanket granting of a reinstatement of rights of felons to vote. And then Hillary went on to win that state by just about 60,000 votes. But no recount there. Nobody's recounting that state. Wonder why. Personally, I'm not even against felons getting back their voting rights. In my opinion, if you serve the time, you should become a full citizen again. You've paid the price. I don't think because you made one or two or a few mistakes in your life, you should be a second-class citizen forever. And he had to do it by hand, right? Like each one had to be like a special case. And again, the Democrats make a mockery of the process. He busts out an auto pen and just auto signs 60,000 votes. I mean, I don't even know. Where do you even begin with these people? They're utterly ridiculous. So again, on Fox News, they have the Stein campaign quoted as saying that, make no mistake, they're committed to fight the right of, for the civil rights of all Americans. And over the past couple of days, it's become clear that the barriers to verifying the vote in Pennsylvania are so persuasive and that the state system is so ill-equipped to address this problem that they must seek a federal court intervention. One can only imagine what a federal court intervention means, what they're going to demand in a federal court intervention, that they can go ahead and have the recount without having to pay the fees. So then the people in Pennsylvania, the taxpayers, have to pay the fees. Or that the recount has to be by hand. That's one of their stickling points, right? They don't care that they get a recount. They want a by-hand recount of all the counties, even though the inauguration is coming up so soon. And honestly, I don't really have a problem with all paper ballots. I really don't like these machines myself. I mean, I understand they make things quicker, but does democracy need to be quick? One of the beauties of democracy is how slow it can be, but once we need to get things done, we get them done, but it's by the will of the people. My problem here with Jill Frankenstein is the fact that she's trying to subvert the system to try to bend the system to her whims and her wills, and I have a problem with that, okay? Because we're a nation of laws, and we need to stick to the laws that we all agree to. If we're not sticking to the laws, what's to hold us together as a society? Why am I stopping at a red light? Why am I paying my taxes? Why am I being honest with the government? Why am I being prosecuted for maybe taking a photo of a submarine and now that's classified information, but Hillary Clinton can steal a gajillion emails and it's no problem? For me, that's the problem with what Frankenstein and her diabolical campaign are doing here. We all know that the inauguration is coming up on Friday the 20th, January 2017. The 45th President of the United States, Donald Trump, will be sworn in on the steps of the U.S. Capitol at noon. When the current President Barack Obama term expires, Trump now takes on the title of the President-elect. I think it's kind of funny that Donald Trump is going to become the president at high noon. Is it the final countdown? 2017 is going to be a crazy year. For all you Catholics out there, I don't know how many of you have ever been told the story of Fatima, but if you never heard of it, you should definitely check it out. I mean, even if you're not a Catholic or a Christian, it's a crazy, crazy story. It's a miracle that happened in 1917, almost 100 years ago. The 100-year anniversary is coming up. It's coming up. And I think it's going to have big ramifications for mankind. I think it's not going to be like a big apocalypse day or anything like that, but it may be the beginning of something crazy. I think it will be. God usually gives mankind 100 years from whence he gives them a warning, and he definitely gave mankind a warning in Fatima. Look it up. You can find the page for it on Wikipedia called under the Miracle of the Sun. 100,000 people, between 100,000 and 70,000 people. Some estimates went down as low as 30,000, but a lot of scholars put it at about 70,000. But check it out. 2017 showdown. Donald Trump, Capitol Hill at high noon. Okay, liberals, you better start running. There's a new sheriff in town. Hey, if you like this video, please help my channel grow by liking, sharing, and subscribing. It really helps to get the word out there, and it super motivates me to make more videos. Thanks a lot.